Here's a great Sri Lankan inspired curry using some beef. This is a recipe that a friend has given me and I just love it because the end result is fantastic. You get meltingly tender meat and it's in this gorgeous tamarind and coconut sauce. So to start with, we want to heat up a large pot or a stew pot. To this, I'm going to add a few whole ingredients. So 2 whole chilies. These are small green chilies. They're fiery, so if you want some extra heat, do chop them up. I just want it to be a gentle warmth, so I'm just going to leave them in whole. I'll also add some extra virgin olive oil, so a good splash, and we're going to start frying these off. So in they go. To this, I'll add 3 cloves of garlic. Now, I don't want to chop them, I'm just going to bruise them. Because this is going to cook long and slow, the garlic is just going to melt away into this dish and become quite sweet. So into the oil, along with some ginger. And the ginger, I'm just going to cut into thin strips, and then we're going to dice. Now, I like to do it like this as opposed to mincing it because I do want slight chunks of the ginger in it. I want it to be dominant. So strips, gather it all up, and finally chop it. So that's about a 2 to 3 centimetre piece of ginger. Good. Into the pot it goes. Also some coriander. Now we'll use the coriander leaves to garnish it later, but it's such a shame to waste the coriander root and stalk. So much flavour. So we'll just cut that about 1/3 of the way up, and we'll just take the little hairy bits away, chop that in half again, and then finely chop that. Make sure you give it a really good wash because, as we know, coriander, it can be a little bit sandy and dirty. And then in it goes too. Oh, it's already smelling fantastic. 2 onions, finely sliced. This is also going to help thicken up our delicious sauce. I'll grab a wooden spoon and give that a really good mix and let everything soften up nicely. Okay, while that's softening, let's get onto the beef. So I like to use chuck beef for this. It's a fantastic stewing beef. It's a secondary cut, so it works really well when it's cooked long and slow. So that's about 1 to 1.2 kilos of beef chuck, and I've cut it into 3 centimetre pieces. You don't want it too small because I want to retain the moisture in the meat. I'll season it generously with some salt, some ground coriander, and some curry powder of your choice. We need about a teaspoon. A little more. Now just get a spoon in there and give everything a mix. So you could marinate this if you want, but I'm just going to let it sit there just for a moment. All right, back to our onions. Ooh, they're looking soft. They're not too caramelised, just right. I love mustard seeds and I like them whole, so we'll add them now, along with fenugreek, very prominent in Sri Lankan cooking. Now you can use fenugreek seeds or fenugreek leaves, depending on what you can find. It really does give it a distinct flavour. And a whole cinnamon stick. All right, it's time to add our meat. Now usually when you're doing a stew, you fry off your meat first. Not for this curry. We just want to warm up the meat to start with, and then it cooks in the actual liquid. So coat that in our onions. All right. Happy with that. In with a tamarind. Tamarind has a lovely sour flavour. It goes really nicely in Sri Lankan curries like this. So about a teaspoon of the tamarind puree. And to that we'll add some water. Just give that a stir first. We want to mix that in with some water. You don't want too much of the water, you just want it to almost cover the meat. Now there's 2 stages of this cooking. We're going to cook it for 45 minutes now. Then I'm going to add my coconut milk. Now you need quite a lot of coconut milk, 800 mils of coconut. It'll then cook again for another 45 minutes. There it is there. It smells so good. And you can see some of the coconut milk has split. That is totally normal. In fact, it's a good thing. Now we need to check that the meat is soft and tender, and the best way is just get your tongs and pull the meat apart. Oh, look at that. Succulent and juicy. And I'm serving my curry with some roti. So I've just been cooking this, just needs a minute or two on each side. I'm also going to serve the curry with a little sambal, totally optional. I just love the freshness of it. So some desiccated coconut, and I've just toasted that in the oven, along with some fresh tomato. These are just cherry tomatoes that I've diced. And if you like some more heat, one of those long green chilies, super finely sliced. I'm going to add half of it because I know how hot they are. Just love that pop of green. Some lime, so just the juice of half a lime. Squeeze that in. That one's very juicy. And all of that coriander that we reserved, I'm just going to pick some of the leaves straight in. I almost want to use the coriander leaves, almost like a little lettuce leaves. And with a spoon, we'll just fold everything together. That right there is just the most delicious addition to any curry. Let's plate this up. Some rice, nice steamy basmati rice. We'll pop that in the base of our bowl. And our lovely curry. So nice big pieces of our beef. We'll say about 3 to 4 pieces per person, depending on how hungry you are. And then I'm just going to drench it in that coconut sauce. Our roti is hot, crispy, and we'll just break it up, fold it over, and then onto our plate. And finally, our beautiful coconut sambal, just sprinkle over the top. Don't forget those coriander leaves. It really does make that pop. That is my Sri Lankan inspired coconut beef curry. It's a goodie.